Hello, it's me, Luna Noir, and today's episode is going to be a little different than any of the other videos I've ever posted. Typically, it's either doing something fun with my kids, either drinking wine or, eating cereals or Halloween candy. However, um, today is it's a strange and interesting situation and episode. So, little background story. I I have been under attack for a few years now, several, and I can pretty much tell exactly when it started. I know exactly who it is. It's the fact that I've kind of gotten to this point recently that I had been doing some research, and it was I've been guided to pick up certain books, or even certain books, like for I thought they were going to be recreational books, this series called The Torrent Witches, like cozy mysteries. It's like a 10-book series, super cool, great storyline. It's especially if you're trying to have a little bit of entertainment and you don't want a bunch of stress, you know, it's a really nice little series. And I think it's Tess Lake who writes those books. Anyways, great, great stuff. Um, I'll put it down in the description box below. I listen to the series through Audible, not sponsored. Anyway, while I was listening to the series, there are certain areas that every time I tried to pick up the book and everything, I was just kind of blocked. Whatever the attack is that's been placed upon me, um, it's to basically, like, let's call it, to discombobulate me so that I'm not always fully aware that negativity is coming towards me, and that if I do realize it, that I'm kind of like, maybe it's just all in my head. It's like a confusing or spell just to keep me unaware, or to not defend myself or protect myself or my family, my kids, my husband. Now, the thing is, like I said, I know the person who did it. The thing is this person's not that, um, their magic is um, elementary at best. And I understand that. And I know that this person does have money to be able to purchase people to do the spells for her. And I definitely feel that that's the case. Um, so the whole thing is, for years and years and years, this person has harbored feelings like just disdain. Now, I'm not exactly sure when they decided that I was the enemy, but that's the case. I've never been the type of person to, like, obviously, if you picked on me and stuff like that, I was going to defend myself. It's just that, that's one thing. Like when you're in high school, I've had a bully before and stuff like that. And just through life, having boyfriends who cheat, and then their other girlfriends, because as far as everyone's concerned, you two are dating, but then they get with someone else, and then they're over there trying to make you feel like you're the one who's interrupting their relationship. And I guess in some way that's true, but when you were there first, you kind of feel like you have some rights. Whole point is, everyone's had bullies. Now, I don't know when she really decided that I was, you know, her enemy. Never felt that way about this person. She is a sibling. But anyway, um, yeah, I have noticed an uptick, especially lately. I've gone through a lot of certain, there's things that happen in my life that I can pinpoint, like, boy, now that's weird. You know, I've done protective spells, I've done basically reconnaissance spells, like, hey, if something's going on, um, I need a definite sign. And I know that I was speaking to one of my kids about it, that when we had moved to Maui, that yeah, I was doing a spell because things were going really bad. And it was just like financial. It's like this person definitely goes for financial ruin all the time. And yeah, so the I was doing a spell, and in the spell I said, I need a definite sign that I and my children and husband are under attack. And I told my children, I said, this spell is going to let us know that if we are under attack, and it's going to be explosive. And when I said explosive, this heat proof, heat safe um, candelabra, it was like a crystal candelabra, exploded and it took out a vase that was right next to it, the whole thing. And I was like, when I said it would be explosive, it was like instantaneously. I said it and pow, everyone jump scared. So I knew. Now, at the time, I didn't realize who was on my sister's side. And I started to realize anytime I posted any good information on Facebook, because, when you're living that far away from family and friends, you want to keep in touch. So I would, you know, talk about the stuff. I almost said boast and brag, but I'm not a boaster or a bragger. It's just like, hey, we went to this market and it's like this and this. So it's just like telling people it's really beautiful and I can't wait for you guys to see it and, blah, blah, blah. And I would tell people my experiences. They'd ask, I'd tell. And so yeah, it's just like bad stuff just started happening. And I was like, okay, no, that's that. Little by little, bad things, bad things, bad things have been happening. And then I think that the uptick really started when my mother gave me her sapphire jewelry set. Sometimes I wear it and it's like beautiful, it's gorgeous. And it's this beautiful ring with a pendant necklace and some earrings that I converted to lever back because I didn't like the posts. And so, anyways, once that happened, I knew that that person wasn't going to be happy. But my mother, before I had left my mother in Michigan, she had asked me, she had always asked me for a piece of my jewelry. And the thing is, it's not like I'm constantly rolling in dough. So asking me for a piece of jewelry is a big deal, you know. And my thought was, I'm about to go and leave my hometown for God only knows how long. I don't know when I'm going to see my mom. I don't know if I'm going to make the trip. I could die. So my thought was, her birthstone is sapphires, and I had this beautiful sapphire ring that was like every ring I've ever gotten from my husband is a favorite. So I took off that ring and I gave it to her, and I blessed it and I put it on her finger, and I told her, until I see you next. And I left, and then at my mom's house, there's always chaos happening, just silly people living there that shouldn't be. And I had told my sister at the time, because I thought she was cool with me again. She falls in and out of friendship with me and others like a person changes their fabric softener or something. It's like once you're like, it smells great, and next thing you know, you're in shit. So I had told her, I said, yeah, all these people living at mom's house, can you just make sure that um her jewelry is safe? She was like, why, what's going on? And I told her, and she was like, yeah, well, um I'm supposed to be going over there and to visit, because I guess she was going to meet one of her grandchildren for the first time. And she went and she told me, hey, Is this your ring? And she takes a picture of her hand with my ring on her finger. And I said, yeah. Um, put it somewhere safe for mom and stuff like that. Let her know that it wasn't stolen, that because my mom did think it was stolen. Well, my sister stole it from my mother, the ring I gave my mom. And I was like, wow, what a piece of shit. Really, that's the kind of stuff she does. She, anything that I've ever had, she's been upset and jealous about because she's made horrible decisions all her life. Is the girl smart as far as, education, book smart? Yes. However, um, okay, is she book smart? Yes. Street smart? No. Is she a kind person? No. But the thing is, um, when she was young, she got pregnant when she was like 15. And regardless of how successful her career has been, her personal life and the relationships with family and stuff like that are pretty much, have been on and off, on hot and cold. And she ruined her, at no point, uh, having a child at that young of an age is your life going to be, you know, great. You could have done better had you, you know, not gotten pregnant. Now, from that point on, this woman, uh, like, still to this day, I'm almost like 100% sure she tells people the same silliness of a story that she has fabricated in her own mind. Now, when I was a teenager, 15 above, yeah. Well, I had boyfriends before that, but she swears that my virginity was given away and lost at the age of 13 years old. Like, I think she tried to put the math like, oh, if she lost her virginity, I don't know if I just touched it, then she did too. But at least I was older. That's what I think her addled mind goes to, because when she got pregnant, her first go-to was she saying that she was raped. And she was very specific details, whatever. Whatever. Whole point is it was a lie. Um, the father told me, and I tried to explain, she didn't want that known. Um, whole point is she's always, from that point forward, that those are the decisions she made. She's harbored an anger towards me, because if anyone should have ruined their life and had a horrible life, should have been me, because I didn't put as much effort into schooling as she did. I didn't. I Once I saw the writing on the walls with my parents, it didn't matter if I got good grades or not. They weren't supportive that way. They got me basketball shoes, cheerleading shoes, and helped me get things like that. Anything to keep you busy, I got those things. So that was support, but they never came to a game or whatever. They just were like, throw money at it, and that's it. For her, that was a little different. They came to a couple of things for her, and whatever. Whole point is, I just did whatever I had to do to stay on the team, and that was it. So I wasn't going to break my ass to do that. Now, thinking about it now, should I have thought better and said, no, I should do this for myself? Yeah, well, I wasn't thinking like that because I was a fucking kid. Brain's not developed. You don't make the best choices. However, because I didn't make those choices, I don't look at somebody else and go, well, you're trash because of my my inability to hustle and get good grades. So, oh wow, that's hot chocolate with cayenne pepper. So I yeah. But she messes up, she blames anyone and everyone. She's a narcissist. It's someone else's fault that she, opened her legs and got pregnant. Has to be somebody else's problem. Whole thing is, from that point on, been after me. Now, every single step of the way of my life, got married, she'd be happy, and then I get pregnant, and she'd be, oh, I'm happy. And then she just comes up with, I'm going to steal your child. And like just some of the dumbest things that she would do. Another little story. And I'm telling you these stories because I've, for decades now, I've just kind of like been, putting up protection spells and just going about my business because that's pretty much it. I'm not trying to go out there and harm anyone, even someone who I know does harm to me. Okay. And it's just one of those things. I just don't, I've never been that type of person. I always felt like there was a karmic, you know, payment that would be made should I retaliate in equal measure. Because I've always held myself and my morals to a higher standard for sure than her and other people and stuff like that. Like, I've always tried to just, you know what? They go low, I'll go high. And I hate that sometimes. I hate that about myself, and I hate that fucking phrase sometimes. Now, that being said, um, right before, I found out my husband and I, we were pregnant, and I said, hey, we're going to go on a trip. Basically, first major trip, last major trip for a while because we were going to have a baby, and we already knew it's going to be a few years before we can go on a really nice vacation. So we decided to go to Puerto Rico. And then my mom and dad were like, hey, well, we want to go. And then they were like, and we're going to have to bring your nephew. And I was like, well, we were going. If you guys are coming, like, fine. But this was going to be my husband and my vacation. And somehow she thought that meant I needed to be taking care of her kid. My mother and father have been that child's caregiver his entire life. She checked in every now and again, but money, clothes, education, anything that kid need, grandma and grandpa took care of it. She just basically claimed him on her taxes. That was his purpose. And I tell her, I had 3 Yorkies at the time. I said, I need you to watch my babies. And she was actually supposed to leave my Yorkies with my other sister, but she was the one I gave the key to because she was like, hey, I'm dropping you guys off at the airport, and I'll go swing by your apartment, pick up the Yorkies, and make sure that the food is at the front door because my apartment was on the way back from the airport. So what this whore did, if you're an animal lover, I left everything frozen because I was like, I don't want the dogs to get to it. So I put it behind the baby gate and I left the dogs with some pee pads down because we took them out in the morning, but we weren't going to be there for, I think it was supposed to be like 3 weeks we're going to be going. We left tons of food for them for the 3 weeks, left some money just in case, leashes, everything, their bedding, their cuddly bears, blankets, everything so that they could smell us while we're gone. She left them in that freaking house for like 7 days. Now, what happens to frozen food if you, because I made them their dog food at the time. I was ahead of the curve. This was like 96, I think, 97. And I was already making dog food for them, like chicken and a little bit of brown rice, peas, carrots. I was doing all that stuff back then. I'm sure other people have done it before me. But imagine the smell of chicken left in the house with 3 babies with no freaking access to water because they drank it at some point, and they climbed the baby gate to get to the food that they could smell, And they basically were living, it stunk so bad. So imagine, we were there for 2 weeks for sure. We came back a week early. We came home to the dogs, not there, but shit everywhere. The There was so much shit, and the smell of rotted meat. And when I leave my house for anywhere, I like to keep it clean because if something happens, I want to be able to come home and say, someone was in my house. Okay? My house looked like a fucking disaster. I was like, I can't believe this. Oh my God. Because we came home early because I had a fear of dengue fever, and my OBGYN was like, you're pregnant. You can't be getting dengue fever. Come home. You're swelling. No, the mosquito bites were, I was getting hives. It was bad. So we had to fly home early. She got mad because my parents and nephew were not, they're like, no, we're staying. What the fuck was I supposed to do? Put a gun to their head and say, no, you're getting on the plane with me? I told her, I have to leave. The baby is at risk. She basically said, F you, you're trash, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. When I came home, that's what I got to see. Then I checked it was on New Year's. So when I checked my answer machine, I hear, yeah, you and cussing me out, you fucking dirty whore, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And just so that you know, I'm getting a lawyer because I'm going to take your ass to court and I'm going to get custody of your daughter, which she's always wanted a daughter. She never wanted a son, but she had a boy. So from that point forward, I was like, and she was like, you live in filth with shit everywhere. Bitch, you left my fucking dogs in a house for like 7 days. You don't think, what do you think? They're just gonna like put that in a fucking box somewhere? So anyway, that's the kind of relationship. And I forgave her. Just stupid. I should have just, but you know what? I'm like, nope. What would Jesus do? Because I was very much in the way of being Catholic. And I was, you know what? Turn the other cheek. You know what? Maybe she didn't mean to do this, but everyone was telling me, oh, well, she says this, she says that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Family. And then, so little things like that, little things, big things like that would happen. So, you know, many years go by, she does the same thing over and over again, you know, just dumb shit. And then I'm like, okay, we got to move, leave Michigan, come out to Arizona, and then we went to California because we're moving further west because our biggest goal was to make it to Maui, Hawaii, where once I knew that she stole my jewelry from my mother, I told my mom how disappointed I was. And I said, get it back. That's your ring. I got it for you. I just wanted my mom to have that. And excuse me. I just wanted my mom to have the ring that I gifted her. And my mom felt so bad that her and my other sister flew to California where she gave me the jewelry. And she goes, I can't get that ring back. And I'm so sorry. And I see the type of person she is. And you don't deserve that. And she shouldn't have taken that ring from you, basically, even though I said, I gifted it to you. It's not about the fact that she took it from me. It's that she took it from you, what made me upset. But she was like, but she took it from you to make you mad. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, obviously that's the case. So my mom gave me her set. And she was like, I want to make sure you get this now because I don't want her coming around when I'm gone saying it's hers because it shouldn't go to a person like that. I have it on video. And I said, all right, thank you. So she hears about this, all hell breaks loose. Okay. Now, every time my mother calls me, not every time, most of the time, at least once a month, my phone tells me that there's other people on the line. It says who's on the phone and 2 others. Sometimes it's 3 others. And I'm like, I know that they're like those little bugs that just want to see what's going on in your life. I've noticed that throughout this whole thing, my husband's health out of the blue gets pretty bad. My health turns to shit. Um, things, my mom's always asking weird questions like, how's your health? How's re? Just like any parent would. If you see your kids getting picked on, you at some point tell them, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to fight back. And I don't typically do that. Like, because it's like I said, family, friendships. Someone treats you poorly. They have something on their mind. Their life hasn't been easy. This and this and this. I've given so many excuses to others and for others. And I'm pretty much done with that. I've always been a person that if you need to talk about anything, call me. Don't be that person. I will not allow you to be the person going through some shit in your life and not have someone there to listen to you. I don't care. And I have people that will say they can call me any fucking hour, and they have. 2 o'clock, hey, what are you doing? I will wake my ass up. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I will stay on the phone from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock until you have cried out all the tears that you need to cry. And I could try to pick you up and say that everything's going to be okay. I got you to the morning. You're good. You're good, right? I'm always that person. Now, do I get that in return? Nah. Because there are people who say that they're your friends for 30 some years, 40 years. And then there's people that say those things and have utilized your friendships for sure for when they needed someone. And that's it. But when I came calling, because I typically can handle my own shit, whatever it is, I take care of it. I calm myself down. I pay attention to, like, you know what? Sometimes you're reading things too high, or you're looking at the map and you're looking too close, but you need to come from up here and then see, like, okay, yeah, you're in a sticky spot right here, but if you just give yourself a few months, there's some clear pathway down the road. So I can do that. But when I've needed people, it's like, where'd she go? And they were comfortable completely dropping me when I was at a point where I'm not the type of person who, like, understand mental health. I've never had those sort of issues because my mental health has always been strong. Very fortunate to be able to do that. Bad shit happens. I keep myself together, I focus, and I get myself through it. I don't need or want that weakness within me. Now, have I become weak at certain points in my life? For sure. One of them was when I thought that it was a long story. It's a Maui thing. Called a friend, was completely broken, broken. I even told this person about the contemplating of ending my life. And that was the last time I talked to that person. So I see that, and then I'm like, all right, rough pill to swallow. As a matter of fact, let me drink some hot chocolate to that. I put cayenne pepper in that. Now it's got me. But it's all for good reasons. Okay. They're gone. Fuck them. I don't care about them. Don't care about their kids. I don't care about shit. You can't be there for me one time when I ask you to be there. I didn't ask you for money. I didn't ask you for anything but to listen. You could not open your fucking ears for me. And I hope she sees this fucking video. I really do. Because you were probably never, well, you've never really been a friend. I've been your best friend where you've been literally never there when I needed. So you're to the side. And I tell this video, and I'm saying this to this video because I want people to realize when you're gold, when you're the precious one, when you are worthy and the best, and you're giving away that energy to energy vampires, sucky ass people, fake ass friends. You deserve better. And even if you walk alone, at least you're walking alone in good company with yourself. I've I've let go of a lot of negative people who the only time I ever get a freaking call is to, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Do this for me and such and so. Now, my magic, when I do things for people, spells and rituals and stuff like that, yes. My rate of success is pretty freaking high. Now, that being said, if you're doing something or someone is doing something illegal and stuff like that, understand, I get the story you tell me. So if, let's just say you come to me and say, I think that um, my son, he's in jail and stuff like that, and he needs help and he needs protection. And I come out and I do a spell. And I'm saying this because this is very pertinent. Let's just say that person did something that at the time I thought they were innocent of. Okay. Now, that being said, I don't know statutes of limitations and stuff like that. So I don't know. I could be saying this and that person's probably will never have this issue again. But if you tell me this person's innocent, blah, 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 I'll put a spell that'll get your ass out of jail. Yeah. However, if you lie to me and I ask, is this person innocent? And you say yes. Like, I'm not the person, I'm not your priest, I'm not the person you should be lying to because this will come back. I can keep them out for a while. But if there's something that you're not telling me, and later on it comes out that I put all this energy and magic into a falsehood, it's going to bite that person in the ass because they can go back. It's like, come on. Unless they've actually been tried for murder, then it's double jeopardy and you can't. But barring something like that, crimes are crimes. And from what I see, if you do something wrong, I don't, like I said, statute of limitations, I'm not a fucking trial lawyer. I don't know. However, you might want to tell me the truth because if I have the truth and I still want to help, then I make sure that the spell completely protects you from any eventuality. Now, that being said, if you didn't pay the witch with a nicety in some sort for those spells, the bind of that spell is not great. And I tell people, and just understand that if you engage in business with me, this might not be necessarily the way that I would do business with you, but these are family and friends. Either you pay me whatever you're comfortable with. I've had people go, here's $5. And I'm like, well, if you're comfortable with $5, fine. Or you either pay me or you can bring business to me by word of mouth, telling people, hey, such and so, contact this person. She could do this for you, blah, blah, blah. Now, at some way, speaking well of me. Now, if you don't do that, at least in my family and friends plan, it's whatever I've done for you. there's an energetic lack of payment. And it's kind of like I have my own auditor. They're like, wait, or my own IRS, you didn't pay for this magic. And it goes for everyone. And even if I go to someone and like I give reviews all the time, especially like on Etsy and stuff like that. If they've done a service for me and I liked it, I make sure, especially if I'm dealing with witches, I make sure that people know I would buy from them and I'd come to them again. It's the least you can do. One, you put money in their pocket, so you've already had negotiations. Keep saying it with an accent. But also, make sure more money comes their way. They'll be thankful for it. And just that little bit of energy exchange of them seeing a positive review, they're going to go, even if it's just a, hey, ExecuWitch, I seen that. That's all I need. That's the closing of the loop. Now, I tell you guys all this because I'm just trying to get to it. We've made a decision that we're going to be going to Europe. We have no money. Let that be a first thing to note. Now, I have not told anyone in my family about my plans. I would never tell them where I'm going. But I might be going somewhere else first, then there. Whole point is this: it's happening. And as I said, our money has been just weird. It hasn't been the way that it should be. I understand why. And I do believe that this person, yay, Amazon Prime. I love it. So I do expect that it's going to happen because I've started to put up blocks and making sure that people are being blocked. And especially since I wasn't sure how someone who is ill-equipped in magic as my sister, I was trying to figure out how the hell is she getting around my protection spells. Typically, my protection spells are pretty good. Good enough that it gets me to places and my life gets to a point where I'm like, holy cow, there's no reason for us to have made it this far or have gotten all this money or such and so. But then I figured out they have someone else doing their magic for them. And then when you're a good person, this is going to sound crazy. When you're a good person, divine beings come to you, even if they ain't the ones that you think would come to a good person. So I'm going to leave it right there for right now. Because I don't know how long I've been recording, but come back to the next video and when you understand who my divine friends are, you may or may not want to watch the video, or you might, but definitely come back if you've liked what you've heard so far. I'm not even sure what this is, but like, subscribe, share, turn on notifications. I've come a long way from crying from the first second I started this. But yeah, come back. It's going to be interesting when you find out who's helping me.